let's see what's going on today. Now today, we can talk about skin just because people have been asking. Oh yeah, the blue light blockers, as most people know. Kind of wearing these at night lately. Block the blue light, but I don't know if I have a lot of tips for clearing up skin. I can tell you what worked for me just because I had a lot of acne. Boy, that's kind of interesting. I just got, oh, there they come. Hey, there's Internet Explorer. You're now a regular. Good to see you. Yeah, I was just talking a little bit about skin. Not really, I can just say what worked for me. I don't know if I have, the best information. I just use, primarily actually what I eat makes more of a difference, but I do use lotion, especially when the weather's really dry and cold and things of that nature. And thanks again for all the thumbs up, guys. But proper hydration, in my opinion, I do think hydrogen helps more because it does appear to help with hydration and just the free radicals. My understanding is the way that it goes into the ghost veins might help with wrinkles. Greg's future's so bright he needs sunglasses. Yeah, that's what I know I was gonna block the blue light because it's getting a little late, as they say. And so avoiding, well, at least again for me, avoiding oily foods seem to help get the acne to go away, and really proper hydration seemed to help a lot. I don't consider myself to have the greatest skin in the world or anything, definitely not. And I obviously didn't take very good care of myself for a long time, and I think part of it is just genetic also, and I don't think I have super good genetics when it comes to skin, but I have noticed it improve with a lot of the changes. Boy, something seems kind of foggy on these things, like something on the lens. But anywho, so yeah, I just thought I'd talk about the skin thing a little bit because people have been asking, but I think oily food is what really screws it up for me. And what's weird is that, meat being really fatty and oily and greasy, I didn't think that it would do that, but it does that to me. Fruits and vegetables don't do it to me. Steaming them, all that good stuff. What do you do if you have dandruff? And oil in your hair is pretty much the only thing that helps. The oil ends up giving me acne. Yeah, exactly. Dandruff, you could probably, I would say, dandruff. I don't, I guess people would only assume that that has to do with a dry scalp, but I thought I remember reading that it was due to something else. And, I would probably use lotion rather than oil. Like, I remember when I used to grow my hair out more and I would use oil, it didn't feel right for me. I know a lot of people use oil and it didn't feel right for me for dried skin. In fact, there's a couple different brands of lotion that I use, some that's more natural than others, but some work better than others for me. I could show you. I have this one bottle that is just kind of an unmarked bottle that I buy more natural lotion, but it doesn't seem to hydrate my skin as good. This stuff works really good for my skin. It just feels better than other lotions that I've tried. It's called Aveeno. Dermatologist, blah, 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 recommended, but clinically proven. Oats and rich emollients. I don't know what that is, but a friend of mine recommended this to me, and it just worked works really good. In fact, I'm gonna actually put a little bit on my legs because I just took a shower and gotta get, like I said, it's been really dry lately, the weather, and the heater in the house runs a lot, you know, and winter time, you know, and whatnot. But you know, I just seem to find that this one works good. I mean, there might be something better, but this is just the one that I've been, you know, using. And I think I was talking mostly about clearing up skin, but as far as dandruff, I don't know. I don't know. I'm, you know, maybe shave your head really, really short. Use lotions. Keep it clean. You know what? How often? And try to be honest. Nobody knows who you are, Refractor OG. How often do you wash your head? Hot showers are also part of my problem, plus the dry air. I agree. Yeah, you know, the chlorine in the water, holy cow, that does dry me out a lot. But how often do you wash your head, OG, Refractor OG? Let me know, because let's see. I'm going to see if I can find some quick information that I remember reading about this. Because ever since I've gotten, quote unquote, more healthy habits, and I don't have really issues on my scalp, thank goodness. Let's see here. Every other day, usually, with natural shampoos and sometimes conditioner. Because I thought it was, you know, dry skin. But it could also be, I remember reading something about it being potentially something with like yeast or some type of fungus, which is why you might really, you know, wash more often, better hygiene, maybe. I think just about, not everybody, but I would say just about most people that I know who had dandruff, it was usually hygiene. But you could just have a real dry scalp, in which case you can buzz it down real short. I buzz mine down just, yeah, I just shave it because I like to keep my head really clean. And I always felt like I couldn't clean my head when I had hair on there. So I just really, it just feels cleaner and it's easier. And I can keep my head warm when I want to. And if I want to like get a real good sweat or be in a sauna or something, I don't have to deal with the hair. And the hair always irritated my skin, which is kind of weird, but my hair would give me acne also, or at least it would make it worse. And I just find that I can care for my head better when I shave it all off. Yeah, so, you know, I think I would just I would wash it every day. You're saying you only wash it every other day, and maybe that's fine. But, you know, I would probably do it every day. And don't they have some shampoo called like Selsun Blue or something? I'm trying to remember what the name it was. It was like from a long time ago, but it's like really mentholy. I think I would try that. And so I don't know if that helps or not. And I don't think I have a ton of answers for dandruff just because I've never had to deal with that. I had to deal mostly with not just a lot of acne in my face, but also on my back and on my head. A lot of pimples on the head. It was weird and I didn't like it. And that pretty much doesn't happen anymore. But I'm really sensitive to oil. Even if somebody is cooking in the house with oil, my skin will be affected, like it's in the air. And yeah, let's see, I've heard the more you wash your hair, the worse since you strip natural oils from the head. I'm down to try a buzz cut at some point. I use all my best skincare products after shaving. You know, I don't know I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if I agree with washing it more often causing dandruff, because if dandruff is caused by some type of yeast or fungus, it could be dry skin, but everybody I've known, it's been like, it's been a yeast kind of fungusy thing. Maybe, maybe try not to consume so much sugar. I'm not sure if that would play a role. Too many breads, yeasty things. Maybe you could do an anti-parasitic cleanse, which I just read some new info actually about something that's part of my protocol for, I'll just say, you know, obviously no medical advice here, guys. I'll just say that there's people who've had cancer and whatnot, and there's things that I've done, and now there's a study pointing towards something that is part of my what I would do personally. And so now there's actually some proof, which is kind of interesting, but it's something that I can't talk about here because it'll just get this whole thing quote unquote shut down, you know. But yeah, so let us know, refractor, but I would try washing your head more often and maybe stay away from I don't know. I don't know if it would be stressed or some type of yeasty stuff, you know. So thanks guys for all the thumbs up as usual. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. I can always put the little ear pods in, but these days for the videos, if you can hear me, I try to go without them, but if I need them, then they're there, you know. I have another, let's see, could be a combination of all that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You could also use different oils, like maybe something that's antifungal, like peppermint or something like that, but also feel for it. Like there's certain things that if I would put on my skin, I could just feel for it. Christine says, hi, sound is fine for me. Great. Thank you for that feedback. And hopefully that'll be good. So, yeah, thank goodness I never had issues with that. But I get a gross feeling when I eat, not even eat oily food, when it's in the air. I just feel like greasy. I feel like my pores get all clogged up. And there's this little device that I use that's kind of neat to pull certain things out of the pores. And boy, my pores were extremely clean today. And I was thinking, geez, what's the difference? What did I do differently? And I realized that I haven't been around people who cook in oily environments. I'm like, could that really be the only thing? I was quite surprised how clear my skin was. I could do a video about it at some point if you guys want, about this little device. It costs like 30, 40 bucks. And you can use it. I'm a little surprised. Just wondering if you've heard of hydrogen water helping with tinnitus? I think I have. Let me check real quick. Because oh, that's the ringing in the ear. I was thinking maybe something else. Let's see. You know, that I actually don't know on that one. I thought I've heard of one person. If it's due to maybe a type of inflammation somewhere due to maybe an accident or something, or some type of free radical damage, but I can't confirm nor deny. Refractor says, definitely interesting in hearing about the skin product. Devices that last forever are better than supplements. Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of supplements. Not too many, at least. Everything is usually nutritional for me. But if you want to see the device, I could go get it right now, or I could do a video in the future, pretty near future, about it. There's a different video I want to make. I was going to do it today, and obviously I didn't get around to it, but there is a video I want to make. Actually, quite a few videos I might want to make. There's so many videos that I never get around to. Some I make them and never release them just because I felt that they were just not good enough. You know, whether I don't know, or I feel like a weird sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like maybe I just didn't say it just right or something. I don't know. Just silly little stuff like that. But yeah, because like these live things, I mean, these are just, I feel like we're just chatting, just, hanging out. It'd be nice if I could do little things. Like I'd like to stretch while we do some of these videos, which I probably could. But then, you know what? We could try it. I could do a few stretches and that'd be interesting. It's hard to read the screen periodically when I stretch, but well, anyway, I'll do that on my own time. I just thought it might be a good time again just to usually chat with you guys and answer a few questions. Again, talking about skin just because people have been commenting, people have been asking, people who know me personally, will say things which I'm always a little surprised about just because I've never yeah, I don't think I have super good skin. Let's see. Are you able to talk about your trip to Japan and what you will do there? If you're not, no worries. Yeah, and we could always talk about it. There's only very few people in here, and I could always delete this. But I mean, the trip to Japan, part of it is quote unquote spiritual in nature. That's why I don't talk about some of that aspect of it and why it would have to necessarily be there. It doesn't have to be there, but there are reasons that I would choose that location. But the other side of it is because they have a lot of information in regards to health. They're really, really into health. They have very interesting studies over there. They look at things from different perspectives, and I like looking at things from different perspectives. I'm not biased, so I mean, if there's something that is good for you, and the shows to be good for you, then I take that into consideration and try to apply it in my life. And if there are things that are not good for you, I try to make those positive changes. I am planning for it. I was gonna go. I would have already been over there. There's a few things that changed my plans, and I thought it wouldn't be as good, both for myself, but also for the viewers. So let's see. Refractor says crazy smart Japanese scientists will be like, "What if we starve Greg uh, of everything except hydrogen and study his blood?" I could starve for a while, but I am going to do other things. I am going to be doing. I'm going to change some habits, try different things, adapt more to some old-fashioned ways of Japanese living. I'm going to focus a lot more. I hate to say this, but I'm going to focus less on my audience. So that's going to be a big thing. By the way, thanks for all the thumbs up everybody's giving there. But, I am going to change habits, adapt to the way that some of the eating habits, and that's totally cool. And then I will be doing a lot of sweating. That's one thing I'm going to be doing a lot of, whether it's in hot springs, whether it's in saunas. I'm going to be doing a lot more stretching. I'm going to be doing a lot more meditating. I'm going to be doing a lot more like quote unquote me time, really spending a lot more time on focusing on certain things for myself, and doing a lot of not doing as much for others. I do a lot for others, guys. I mean, I call people back. I help people with all sorts of things all the time. Probably, I don't know if I should say too much, but it's a lot. And at some point, this is not, and it seems like it's more for me, this whole focus, but it's not as much for me as you might think. But it's something that I just feel that I have to at least try and put this much effort one time in my life. So yeah, I'll be going there, and I'll try to, I'll bring the iPhone, and I will share footage of different things, which is why I'm going to open up another channel where I'll just share different things. Christine says, device, quick show and tell is good. Thank you. Oh yeah, I'll be doing a video on that. showing more about what's going on in Japan and interesting, whether it's products, whether it's just things that I like, whether it's new science. I don't think you guys, with all honesty, that's Christina says, are you just visiting there or moving there? Are you meeting up with friends there or just by yourself? Sounds like an amazing place to go. So I think, like I said, a lot of this is going to be for me. I mean, I do have some friends over there, not a ton or anything. They were all scattered, different people that I've known, and I'm not going there to visit friends. I'm going there to, I would almost call it like work. If I'm going there for any purpose, really, like top of the list for me is actually the water. That's why I'm going there. And then everything is kind of secondary. It'll be cool to, to learn about different things, including hydrogen. Maybe I'll go to a hospital or a clinic, learn some more things, see some more things, things of that nature. Maybe share those type of things with you. And like I said, new science or just different stuff. And all that's great. But I'm primarily going there for personal journey work. Will I see anybody there? I might, but I don't know. I'm not really planning like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and specifically see these friends and go and hang out. It's not like a vacation for me in my mind. This is what I would call work, but it would be definitely, not the kind of work that we think of as work as far as you go to a job, so many hours, you get paid, all that kind of stuff. No, I will be getting, definitely not getting paid anything. If anything, I'm going to be burning through, savings and things of that nature. And, and just trying to bring you guys interesting information just about health, but I don't think you guys are going to want to be seeing me, like, as far as what I'll be doing. I don't think people want to see it. I really don't. I don't think people are going to want to see me, meditating for long periods of time. It's almost like certain mental exercises that I will do that I've done in the past, and it takes a lot of discipline to strengthen the mind like a muscle, more to strengthen focus than anything, more than the mind. And I don't think people will want to see that. It'll be very boring. It's even boring for someone like, like anybody, including myself. It's not going to be exciting for the ego. It's actually quite the opposite, right? And I don't think you guys will be wanting to watch me, soaking in hot springs and going into really cold tubs and all this type of stuff. Plus, I want to have a camera person. I've never had a camera person really, and I don't think I will have anybody clearly following me around. So I'll be taking just footage on my own. And you can't take cameras into the hot springs because they're like public bathing, so you can't just walk in there. And in Japan they have certain rules. One of the rules in public bathing is you can't wear anything. You can't even wear flip flops. So you're just supposed to go in there with nothing on, and they're clearly not going to let people do something like that. But I'll tell you one thing, that is really good for your skin. The natural springs are really good for the skin, as are the saunas. And I'm going to do a lot of things, but I will be visiting. I'm going to try to visit like some farms and see how they do their farming. I know they do it differently. They do a lot of things differently. That's one thing that I will open up the other channel for, and when I have time for it, I'll just show you Japanese living and share some stuff about their culture. But the stuff that I'll be doing for myself, I mean, if people are truly interested, I could set up the tripod and people can see what I'm doing, but I really doubt anybody's going to want to see what I'm doing. I know it's quote unquote boring because it's almost like you're doing your best to not do anything. Meditation, in my opinion, is, it's a lot of that, a lot of focus. And I use stretching just because it's good for you, but also because it's a way of training your focus and your breathing technique. Ever had a Japanese ramune soda? Best version of Sprite? No, I've had no, I haven't. I mean, I am interested in I'm, I'm assuming maybe you mean in meditation, maybe. Um, you know, meditation is extremely hard because there's different levels of meditation, and there is what I would call deep meditation and meditation videos. You would be interested in that? That's hilarious. I mean, Quan Lee. I mean, if you're, I mean, again, if you guys are interested, it's easy for me to, you know, to put up the tripod and because I'm gonna do it one way or another. I mean, whether people are watching or not watching, I'm gonna do it one way or another. I have thought about on my videos, maybe, what's the word I'd be looking for? Like if I learn something, whether through meditation about myself or even learning things about new scientific stuff or new data about our health, and just sharing it almost like a little bit like a blog, but also I've been thinking about sharing it like a well, yeah, like a blog and whatnot. But I also thought about doing those spiritual stories. So it's tricky. I don't know what direction I'll do all that in. I'm kind of planning on going there and probably staying a very long time. Possibly, yeah, living there, something along those lines. In fact, yes, I'm looking into something like that because I've always wondered where I would want to live or where I would want to be. But I realized for myself that what dictates that is what I want in my life. And, you know, weather dictates a lot, clean air dictates a lot, the quality of water dictates a lot. There's a lot of things that dictate, you know, many reasons that would impact which location I would choose. But the Japanese have something that I have just not found. It's not that they don't have it anywhere else. It's that they don't have the quality. They don't put as much attention, which is, you know, the water. They really do water like nobody does it. And you guys are about to see it. I mean, that I will share with you guys. I will show you the magical waters. You can see them. I'll tell you what they feel like, what they smell like, what they look like. They have really cool, like almost ancient old knowledge, which is crazy. How would they know? But they have these writings about what specific waters do in specific locations. A lot of people don't know that the reason that they're so fat, a lot of this stuff that comes from the water is really because of the monks. The monks who really created a lot of healthy lifestyle things, diet included, meditation included, certain training included, the waters are included. So, you know, something along those lines. Will you go to the factory or place where they make the hydrogen machine, or have you been there already? No, I've never been there, and I'm not sure if I'll go. I might, but it's not a. They would hate for me to say this. I mean, they would probably like me to go there and people check things out, and maybe I will, but it's not like a priority. It's not like I have to go. They're not the number one reason that I'm going there. The number one reason is for my own personal purposes. They go way beyond, um, you know, some factory. I mean, I'm very grateful for the machine, and I'm very grateful that it exists and that it does what it does. And I'm grateful to the people. You know, it would be nice actually, more than seeing the factory. Actually, it would be nice to see one of the gentlemen who's primarily responsible for the machine, because his story is so beautiful. I mean, I don't know if you guys know his story. If you don't know his story, I don't know, comment below and I can share with you, you know, some of the stuff. It's pretty wild. But meanwhile, I'm going to grab a glass and, you know, we can just talk about whatever. As always, you guys seem to be regulars now, but I can show you how I drink the water. I'm going to beat this dead horse because eventually you guys will just know. By the way, for your face, you can also put your face in a bowl of hydrogen water. It's another thing you can do. Lots of hydration is going to be good for your skin also. And probably lotion and everything is good too. Biggest thing for me was just avoiding heated oils and what else? Just my diet. Just eating cleaner made my skin look cleaner. Who would have thought? I mean, really. I wish somebody would have told me as a teenager. Like I said, I had acne so bad. Maybe you can see the scars. But I had it. I mean, I had it bad, but in my temples especially. And I used to work in fast food, and just the oil in the air would give me just terrible acne. I mean, just terrible. I was terrible. Let's see here. Christine Ford, I don't know his story. Christina Cole says, will you be able to talk about your 11/11 story? Ooh, I could. I would love to hear what happened. Boy, if I say that one, I will delete this video. Or are you going to save it for your spiritual videos? I've been thinking about saving it for my spiritual videos. It was a very completely unexpected. I had zero expectations that anything would happen, and especially what ended up happening on my 11/11. I didn't even plan it to be on 11/11. I looked at the calendar when it was happening, and I thought, geez, what's today? Because I had another really wild spiritual experience that happened to me. I don't know if you want to call it spiritual, just say an experience, whatever you want to call it, but I didn't ever remember the exact date. I knew the time, but not the exact date. And excuse me. And this on the one on 11/11, I thought, you know what, this is so big. I should at least look at the calendar and see what the date is. And it was November 11th of 2011. And I thought, whoa, that makes it easy to remember. 11/11/11. I didn't know that 11/11 had any significance, and I just always called that day my 11/11 story. And then I actually looked at the clock because I thought, well, what time is it? And it was 1:11 p.m. And I thought, wow, okay, this will be very easy to remember. But I just remember thinking it was odd, but easy and a coincidence. And of course, I reflected on it later, thinking, well, was it a coincidence? I don't know. Seeking and being. Good evening. Good evening. So yeah, I can tell you just a brief story about one of the gentlemen who was responsible for the Hydrofix. He has a daughter, and it's so sad actually. Gosh, I almost started crying right there, right when I started thinking about it for some weird reason. Because he has a daughter that was, apparently born or got ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, at a very either young age or was born with it. I think she was born with it. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it was. And they told him that she'd literally be lucky to make it to the age of 5 years old. So imagine having your little baby and you're already told that you're most likely going to outlive her. And she would just get all sorts of crazy symptoms, including just lung infections constantly. Obviously, he knew about the data about hydrogen, and it looked like it would help her, but they really needed a piece of equipment that could. He wanted something that would be like practically like medical grade, but he wanted it for home use. And so there just wasn't anything like that to that level. And he wanted to create something that just had the best quality hydrogen water, hands down, which the Hydrofix does, in my opinion. There is no better hydrogen machine out there to make the best water compared to this device. But he also wanted it to have an inhalation option. And that's why they really had to, take very big steps, including getting the machine tested through something I believe called chromatography. And to make sure, one, that it was working and they were getting the levels they wanted, just everything. And every little detail they scrutinized, from the cartridge in it, to the metal in it, to the engineering design of it, the computer in it, all the different things. And ultimately what ended up happening, he asked help from top industries. And in Japan, I mean, think about trying to do that in America, like contact Ford and say, hey, Ford, can you help us with something? I mean, Ford's gonna be like, we don't care about whatever you're doing. We build cars. But he got help from a lot of different industries, top-notch industries that had really high levels of technology, and they were willing to help him. And he did end up building this device that ended up surpassing all expectations. And then he started using it on his daughter, and it really worked. He said it just made such a huge difference. And for somebody who used to chronically get infections, like all the time, It was probably going to end her life. And started using the hydrogen and like almost no infections. It really made a difference. And I've seen that a lot with other people that I personally know in regards to infections. And she is now, I believe she's like 12 or 13 years old. So she's almost tripled her life as compared to what they told him would be the age that she could maybe achieve. So she's done really, really well, and it's really, really changed her life. I think it's really affected his life, and it's obviously affected numerous people's lives in the world. And I remember hearing that, I mean, clearly companies in Japan can outsource stuff to China to make stuff cheaper. But when the Japanese are really finicky about something, they don't like to do that apparently, unless it's something that they believe that the Chinese could easily do or it's not a big deal. But when it comes to more important stuff, they tend not to do it. But some people will. A lot of people outsource to China. And he had mentioned that he wanted this thing to really be built in Japan. He didn't care if it was more expensive. He really just wanted it to be done right. And I always appreciate that. I've seen that a lot in regards to the Japanese. No cutting corners. We're going to do it right. We're not going to use cheap metals. We're not going to use, quote unquote, a cheaper computer. We're not going to use chemicals to make it. The purity is of the utmost importance. All these different things. So he really seemed to put his heart and soul into it, which, I mean, I'm really quite grateful. I mean, people say they're grateful to me, but man, I'm grateful to those guys. So yeah, that's roughly the story in a nutshell. By the way, thanks for all the thumbs up. Everybody's giving a lot of thumbs up. Thanks for that. So yeah, guys, that was a little quick little story in regards to that. I can show you the device real quickly if you guys want to see it. I actually just used it myself a little bit ago, but I'll make a video about it showing you which one I got if you guys want me to put a link and that kind of stuff. But it's one of these. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these guys. So basically what you do, I'll open it up, and it's this guy right here. But they have a bunch of different attachments. You can see a bunch of them here. And ultimately, there's different options on here. I just use, I don't know, what option do I use actually, but you turn it on. They have low, medium, high. They have settings for like oily skin, different stuff. And you put it against your skin. Well, I mean, do you guys want me to demonstrate? Oh my goodness, this would be a little embarrassing. At the bottom of it gets hot, so you can put it against your skin to open up pores. I never really use that option. I usually do it after a shower. Yeah, so it pulls stuff out. So I'll turn it on, hold the button. Now it's on. It says low for oil. It's set up on oily skin. I got it on high now. And you put it against your skin and you just kind of drag, and I keep it right against the skin. It's like almost like a vacuum cleaner. See? See how it kind of gets stuck on, Hi. So, and let me see if anything came out. A little bit. This is kind of gross, but I could show you what came off of it. Let me grab a Q-tip. And you see all this stuff that comes out of your pores. I mean, I would rather use it after like a sauna or something. Oh yeah, I can see that some stuff came off of here. So what I do is I'll go like this with the Q-tip. You're not going to see much because, well, I guess you can kind of see. Let's see here. I feel like it's going to get blurry, but you can kind of see that kind of crap. It's almost like something that would be in your ear, but it comes out of your pores. And I tried it on different parts of the body. Wouldn't recommend that. I think I tried it on my forehead, and I had like a big red spot on my forehead. One thing you'll learn is that your skin is different in different parts of your body and your face. So if I did it over here, it would probably create like a red spot, but on my nose it's fine. The skin on the nose seems different. If you do it on areas where the skin's really thin, maybe underneath the eyes, it probably could hurt you. The scalp, see, I'd actually hoped that it could suck oil off my scalp sometimes. Like if I eat something kind of, well, actually it does work. If I eat something oily or I'm around somebody that's cooking with oils, I'll get a pimple, and you can put it on a pimple and it'll just poof, it'll pull it right out and it'll get all bloody, and then you take this thing off, you know, and then you can really clean it all up. And so it works great, but you really want to be cautious where you use it, at what level. I mostly just use it for my nose. That's what I mostly use it for. I've tried other areas. You know, I would probably use it on my head if I got a pimple. And it is pretty neat for pimples. But yeah, so this is, and actually it says right here, you know, it's removes blackheads. So again, for the nose seems to be really good. Reduces skin acne. So again, you can use it for pimples. In fact, it says reduce grease. So that's why I was trying to do it in other areas, but it really wasn't looking so good. Deep cleansing. So maybe there's different modes for different parts of the face potentially. And what else does it say? And to exfoliate dead skin. Like I said, for me personally, it just works really great after a shower. I want to take this to Japan because when I do my hot springs and saunas and really open up the pores, you better believe it, I'm going to be pulling this stuff out of there. And it's cool. It's effective, yeah. I like it, and it's, you know, not that expensive. I was expecting it to be a lot more expensive. And they have a lot of different attachments. I mean, they have some where it's the tip, this is softer like a silicone, but the one that's on it, I like the way it's working right now. And like I said, I like this thing. Let's see, cautions. This product is not fireproof, okay? Keep away from fire source. Let's see, the skin has been damaged or bleeding, please do not use. In order to prevent skin infection, do not use the same product for many people. Yeah, I clean it up all the time. Keep out of reach of children. Yeah, this thing can be, it could hurt you. Do not place the product while in the operation to avoid do not place the product while it is in operation. That doesn't even make sense. To avoid injury. Tips. Oh, it has, this is interesting, it has a firming function. Like of plastic lifting. They're almost making it sound like a facelift or something. But the skin with wounds and scars is not recommended. Yeah, there's some type of mode in here for that. Do not use the same place on the skin for too long, 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah, I've noticed that. Dry skin once a week. Oily mixed skin can be used twice a week. I think I do it about twice a week. Each time no more than 5 minutes depending on the condition of the skin. Do not press too hard. Causes microcirculation. That's interesting. They talk about redness, sometimes taking a while. Do not moisturize, sunscreen at the end of the treatment. It probably opens up your pores. Do not use exfoliating products before or after treatment. Let's see, warnings. Yeah, it seems to have some type of function that causes like minimal damage on the skin, so it'll repair, almost like they're making it sound like plastic surgery or something. This product is not suitable for use on body. See, that's what I was saying. Sensory or mentally disabled, blah, 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 children. You know, I don't know why, I got the weirdest pimple on my bicep. I never get pimples. I think it was, I won't go into what I think happened, but I actually used it on there just to pull the pimple out. And it works. It works for pimples. I'll tell you that much. Okay, here's the different options. Let's see. It says silicone head, large round hole. What they're for. Ah, okay. So they have different ones for cleaning pores, blackhead suction, one that doesn't damage skin, um, prevents fine lines, oval whole head. Which one's the oval whole? So this one is more oval. Yeah, there's a lot of brands on Amazon. I like this one, and it's been good, and it was cheap, and I'll probably put a link and everything later because it's always tough to find a good one, and I've been very happy with this one. Everything was really great, but there are a lot of them. So the oval head prevents fine lines. I haven't even tried it for that, and specializes in special parts such as the corners of the eyes, nose, and mouth. It gently lifts and activates the skin to prevent wrinkles. I don't know if that would really work, but hey, I do it mostly for I just wanted my nose clean, just to clean the nose. I always felt like the nose feels like the skin is thicker here as compared to like the skin under the eyes or cheeks and stuff. So, curved whole head, special curved shape, fits facial structure, makes it easier to use the device. So, cool. Yeah, I'll put a link. Probably, well, I don't think I can do it today, but I could probably do it tomorrow if you guys want. I could make this video instead of, I was gonna do one on oxalates, but I could do this video tomorrow, and then I could do the oxalate one after that. Maybe I should start using this for my wrinkles. I mean, not even what I used it for. So, okay. Alrighty. Well, video update tomorrow. Yes, please. Okay, Christine Ford, I'll do that. Using it on somebody who gets waxed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you get waxed, I mean, it just tears your hair off. So I don't know why the suction would help, but maybe. And then, refractor saying makes you think about all the toxins you reabsorb after sweating. Yeah, what I will tell you is, well, I like sweating because it pushes everything out. But I think what it really shows me, like when I feel a certain way, like if I feel, I don't want to say dirty, but kind of, I'll use that thing on my nose, and the stuff that comes off my nose is like, whoa, really? Like it's surprising. And depending on how I eat, the stuff that will come out will look different. Like I ate really, really clean today, and super clean today. And I hadn't cleaned my nose for a while. Well, I've been eating clean pretty much every day, but really big difference. And if I eat dirty, even just one day, like something fried, usually stir fried, pan fried, deep fried, some type of restaurant food, something like that, and I'll use it that same day, and all this stuff will come out, which is pretty wild. I mean, because it's clearly affecting me, but I can just feel it. I can actually, it's kind of weird to say this, but it's super weird to say this actually. When I eat not very clean, or I feel kind of like greasy, or my skin's all mucked up or something, I can actually smell it in my own tissue. It's weird. I mean, I don't know if that's just being super crazy sensitive, but I can smell it with my own nose, and then I'll use something like that, and it'll have a bunch of stuff come out, and everything just smells cleaner. And I'm a little, I don't want to say obsessed. You could say passionate. I don't know what the proper word would be, but I just like to be clean. It just feels really good to be clean. It feels good to have, cleaner skin, cleaner mouth, your nails, cleaner body, cleaner feet, cleaner bowels, hydrated, clear eye, it just feels better. Christine Ford says, waxing, using it before so any buried hairs have a better chance to be waxed. Often hairs can be under a simple one layer of skin or in contested area. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, what are you getting waxed? Your legs? So, I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't think I should be showing my legs, but I mean, think about it. If my legs, all this area, what am I going to do? Suction, cut, suction the whole thing? I mean, it would, I don't know, that would be like a lot. That would be a lot of suctioning for waxing hair. I'm not sure that would work. So I don't know. But it's an interesting idea. Underarms, ouch, or bikini. Suction cupping. You know what? I bet you that thing, because the underarm, I think the skin's kind of thin. I think that thing would hurt under the arms. Probably make a red spot. I mean, I would do it for you guys here, but I think that would be. I've never done underarms. I don't think I have any buildup there that would, like the nose. Yeah, that'd be kind of wild. I think it hurt. You know, if I did it here on the skin on my neck is very thin, and I think that would not be good either. I mean, is the skin in my underarms thin? I guess it's probably thicker than my neck or under the eyes. Of course, the legs feels like a thicker. Yeah, I mean, it's a little thicker, but it's funny, like the feet, the top of the feet are a little thinner, but obviously under the feet are thicker skin. So like I said, the skin all over the body is so interesting. It's all very different in different parts. Like the back of the hands seem like very thin skin also. So very interesting. So interesting, everybody's leaving. Everybody's leaving the talk. That's funny. Underarms or bikini. Oh, bikini area. Holy cow. I don't know. I just don't think it would really help. No, turn it down. Usually there is only small area that is susceptible for me. Yeah, okay, maybe. I mean, it might work. You can try it and let us all know. I guess I just liked it for my nose. I couldn't find anywhere else. But maybe I'll try that other option, supposedly for wrinkles. I don't know how well it'll work, but hey, why not? I mean, I could probably do it right now, which would be. My face will get all red, and somebody wants me to potentially do a podcast tomorrow, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll have like all these blotches, and they'll be like, "What the heck happened to the hydrogen?" Oh my goodness, that would be funny. Actually, it'd be funny. I'm a goofball like that, but I think it would throw everybody off. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got enough water for tomorrow. Good. That's what I'm gonna need. I did get a new shaver too, actually. I don't think anybody's interested in my shaver, but I got a new shaver. I do all my grooming. Like this is like my mirror. Actually, I kept wondering why these things don't work so good because I got an old one that is like, gosh, how old is that thing? It's got to be at least a decade, maybe more. And then when I got a new one, it was actually working. And I was like, oh, it was just because it was so old. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of money on myself or things. They don't make me really happy. So I don't spend a lot of money on them. Okay. You know what? If you guys like, somebody asked about books. I've only read a little bit of it, but like I said, people just constantly give me books. You should see all the books I have. I don't know why everybody wants me to read a book. I used to do a lot of reading back in the day, but these days, I'll educate myself. I do read like a lot of medical studies, but this is one that somebody recently gave me. Look at this thing. I mean, how long does it take to write this? Old Path, White Clouds. So for those who like, it's funny, they got like the tree of knowledge of good and evil and Adam and Eve. No, they don't have that, but there is fruit there. That's interesting. There's fruit, but and there's water, interestingly enough. Interesting. I like clothes, like these clothes that I just like very like comfortable, baggy clothes, you know. And to be honest, is it a good book? I mean, I haven't read the whole thing. I know that everybody says this guy's like super spiritual, and I don't doubt that he is, by the way. He might be super spiritual, super knowledgeable. There's a very big difference, in my opinion, between knowing the path and walking the path. And he probably walks it. I'm sure he does. I mean, I don't doubt it. But yeah, I'm more about doing it, walking it. That's much more my interest. Just because I've been looking for happiness for a long time. Okay, I'll be back in like 30 seconds or less, if that's okay. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Whew, nice and cold out there. I like to go take a few deep breaths out there. Feels good. Let me grab a little bit more water. Does anybody know how to say water in Japanese? Or water in Spanish? Or how about water in, what's another word for water in English? Let's see here. Let's see. Comments. Christine Ford said, books, we value your opinion. Well, wow, thank you. I'm a little, I don't know if I'm surprised that people do or don't. I don't know. I mean, I do try to be as accurate as possible. I hold myself to a high standard. Agua, says Alice. Yeah, water. How about hydrogen water? Okay, Seeking and Being says he died January 22nd, 2022. Well, look at that. He missed it by 1 month. He could have gone 2-2-2-2-2. But I'm gonna guess he probably went to the right place. That would be my guess. He seemed like a nice guy. I did see interviews of him. Boy, I must be extremely boring today. Everybody's leaving. That's okay. I should probably turn this off. But okay, let's see. Seeking and Being says Thich Nhat Hanh. I believe that's the guy's name, isn't it? I never really did know his name really well. This is, yeah, obviously a lot of Buddhism. I mean, I love Buddhism too. I love anything that, I like good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's see. Somebody said Agua. That was Alice. And Christine Cole says, love the interviews you did with Joe and Scott. Yeah, I know those guys are fun. On Truth Stream. Will you go back on their show? Really enjoyed the spiritual insights you also spoke about. Yeah, I mean, if they want to do something again, we did, it's funny. We did one. Ooh, it went off the deep end. We got just really spiritual. A lot of deep stuff. I felt like, oops, maybe I shouldn't have gone that far. And we all really enjoyed it, according to them. But then I said, guys, I'm not sure. After I slept on it, whenever I sleep on things, I said, yeah, I'm not sure. And then they were like, oh, dude, it's fine. It's fine. And then later on that day, they're like, yeah, maybe we should hold off. He said, this might be too much for people. And I was like, yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. And he's like, people know you for hydrogen. And he says, and we want to hear about hydrogen. They both want to get on hydrogen, get the benefits of hydrogen. But the conversation just happened to go the way that it did that day. And so they ended up never releasing it, actually. I think they said they're going to release it later. Maybe they already did, actually. They might have, because that was a while ago. So maybe they did and I just missed it. But thank you for that. Yeah, it's really fun talking to those guys. Let's see. Internet Explorer says, hey, Greg, I noticed my hairline growing back and getting thicker after drinking your smoothies. That's funny. Well, you know, the smoothies do a lot of things. I am going to be modifying them though soon. I'm going to be doing a little bit of new stuff here in the very near future. But the smoothies cause the body to produce nitric oxide, opening the blood vessels, more blood flow to places. I think personally, obviously there's a genetic role in hair loss. And I think that it's kind of like it makes, for certain people, if you eat like a lot of oily food, for example, that will probably make it worse. And so the smoothies are not oily. They're not, there's natural oils in them, but they're not like seed oils. They're not like canola oil or olive oil or any oil that has gone through the process. And so they're not greasy. A lot of stuff in the morning, people either fry up some eggs, maybe some bacon, obviously, a piece of toast. They'll drink coffee with cream in it, usually with processed sugar, something like this. And yeah, that's cool and it's interesting. And actually, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Would it work for everybody? Probably not also. So, clearly the human body, we have our similarities and then we also have our differences. And a lot of our differences are like the bacteria in our gut and stuff like that. Let's see, a few comments here. But that's great, Internet Explorer. Seeking and Being says, were you on Jason Shirka's channel? I wasn't. Quite a few people have mentioned him, and you're welcome to write him and say, you should have the hydrogen on, because I know I'm pretty sure he's already known about me. And I think he's probably busy too, but at the same part, I've noticed that when people ask, because there are a lot of people who request me to be on shows, and then when they do that, then they're like, hey, we're hearing this a lot. Okay, maybe we should do this. Great feedback, says Christine Ford. I forgot what that was about, probably. Okay, Christina Cole says, are you coming out with these new ideas you want to release before you leave for Japan? New ideas. Well, I don't know which ones you would be referring to. I have a lot of them. I do have a lot of, gosh, I'm actually surprised how much stuff. So what's coming up, but it's, I guess I would just say, just whenever they work out, I'm going to try and actually, and try and get some more water. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. Like if you're talking, I think I was talking about some ideas about a smoothie. I think I'm going to change it a little bit. Might even find a way to make it cheaper and easier potentially to make. One thing that I am doing right now, which I used to do, I should have kept doing it, is, I think maybe I just didn't have the space, is soaking nuts in hydrogen water. If you don't have hydrogen water, it can just be clean distilled water. And if you don't have that, then just clean filtered water. And because nuts, have oxalates, because most nuts are actually seeds, and it's almost like a form of protecting themselves, which is great. Um, but I think when you soak them in the water, you're able to kind of wash that off, and just a little better for the body. And it shouldn't be too hard. Um, I'm starting to put them out overnight, how much I'll want tomorrow, because I know exactly how much I'll want tomorrow, you know, or at least close enough. So, but nuts, I just think nuts and seeds are, you know, pretty special. Beans are really special too, though. It's funny though how you can make almost any food, whether it's fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, bean, or even things like meat, seafood. You can make everything look good or bad, pretty much, you know. And the quote unquote negative about things like vegetables are like the oxalates. Smoothie, new, yes, thank you. And where to source ingredients for living overseas. Well, I gotta say, Christine, that is a problem because everything that I'm looking for and to do my research is stuff that is accessible to me. And then I try to find more affordable ways, as far as affordability, but also quality. And so, I find local areas to get certain things like natto, but then I have to order certain things online that I would have to get, and I'm not very good at knowing what's in everybody's countries. I have a hard enough time trying to figure out all the good stuff that I want to use, but at the most minimum, I don't know if you guys have seen that pattern yet, but I just super minimum. I don't, you know, like if it was, man, you guys should see the kind of emails I'm getting too. All these like, companies that want you to talk about their products or, well, pretty much that. A lot of companies that want, you know, you to talk about their products. And I can't imagine. If I accepted everything, I'd be doing like, I don't know, 50 to 100 different products or something crazy, maybe more. And maybe I'm a silly goose for not doing it. Maybe I should do it, but no, I got too many other, I realized I like to just share whatever it is that I'm learning or developing, maybe protocols, as I learn. And it was the same thing with hydrogen. I mean, I shared what I was learning, and new information would develop, and you always continue to learn, and I like to continue to learn. And when I learn something, I share it. I will say that I can't say the name of it. Don't type it in either, by the way, if you know, because I don't want to get any issues or anything. But and if somebody does say it, I'll just delete this video and take it down right now. But there's a relationship between antiparasitics, I'll just say, and cancer. A specific study, specifically for prostate, but I thought it was cool, and I learned that. I'm going to be doing a video on long-term hydrogen usage because I've been saying one thing, but quote unquote, the medical establishment wasn't saying much about it, which I talk about, not just long-term usage of hydrogen, but the purity of it, the importance of the purity if you're going to be doing long-term. It's like, could potentially defeat the purpose if it's dirty or doing it wrong or impurities. And I found a study I was going to share with you guys. It was just there's a few parts of it that were a little complex. And one thing that I always do, I don't know if you guys noticed this, that I do this pretty much, I believe, with most of my videos, is that I try to make things simple. I try to simplify it. You don't need all the complicated jargon. You're just trying to get the point of what exactly is going on. So stuff like that. Let's see here. So smoothie sources, ingredients living overseas. Yeah, you're gonna have to get creative. I mean, that's what I did, by the way, Christine. I feel like I tried to just be creative. Like, oh look, I can get a giant bag of organic carrots for $5 or whatever it is. I'm like, wow, that's cheap. And carrots are so good for me, so I'm gonna put some carrots in there, and just whatever I can kind of source is the best I can do. And I try to give you guys links, and you can see the products. So sometimes you can go and find something similar in your area and stuff like that. I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, you can ask again. Christina Cole says, do you do anything for better lymph flow like skin brushing or rebounding? Yeah, there's multiple things that right now, I'm not doing everything that I want to do because I have a routine, but I don't have the routine that I desire. But your lymphatic fluid moves with different things. If you, example, were to lift weights and do exercise, that moves, the lymphatic fluid. And walking, I go for a lot of walks. There's a lot of data and science on walking. So many great benefits. Just go for a walk because it moves everything, every step, the gravity. And that's what really moves your lymphatic fluid. Me personally, I think I have a theory, but it's just a theory. I haven't seen any data about it. I probably shouldn't say it, actually. But I'll just say that another thing to do is like when you do like sweats, like if you had access to a sauna, go to a sauna because I think sweating is really, really good. Obviously tons of benefits. And it just kind of gets things moving in a very different, interesting way. But I don't do any like massaging per se. I don't massage, I stretch. And as far as rebounding, I have one, and I have used it regularly and everything else. But I've just been doing so much more walking lately, like a lot of walking, and what one might call air squats. I do some of those. So, okay, hopefully that answers your question. What the heck here? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, Christine Ford says, probably only do produce reviews for products you personally use and love. Well, yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, that's exactly, I just do the stuff that interests me and what I am using. That's why I was showing you. I was gonna do more of that actually, but people had always wanted to hear more about hydrogen. I really wanted to review different products that I liked. Possibly only do produce reviews for products you personally use. Oh, I already read that. Wolfgang, what's up? Does drinking hydrogen ground the body with its negative ions? Or maybe soaking the feet could ground the body? Wolfgang, and that is a very good question, and I have thought about that. And I think that it's possible, actually. And like I said, hydrogen, this is more the spiritual aspect that, like I said, I don't touch too much on, is it's like, well, it can ground you, like you're saying, but it also feels like it can connect to, let's just say, maybe other places. It's not like a drug that you take and all weird, but it's subtle, and it is subtle. It works like behind the scenes, and it's always always there, and it's a part of basically everything. I mean, even metals, they're learning about, like for example, you guys want to hear something interesting? I'll share something interesting. Let's just see. If you guys think it's silly, you can comment below and all that good stuff. Does anybody know where gold was made? Like, yeah, maybe it was found in the ground, but do you know where gold is made? Does anybody know where gold is made? I'll give you guys a few seconds. I'll just tell you, I guess. Do you know what a star is made of? I mean, stars, guys. Whew, super cool stuff. Like, you know, look at it. It's primarily hydrogen because it's hydrogen and helium, but helium to me is, it's like O3, which is ozone. O3 is just one more oxygen molecule. It changes it, but it's still what it is. And so it's pretty much entirely hydrogen. Well, that's where gold is created. It's created in dying stars. And this gold must have rained down on planet Earth or whatever. Gold is made in the stars. And it is said that we are made of stuff from the stars too. And as far as quote unquote the sun, you know, or it's a star, guess where platinum is made? Same thing. So how can these metals ultimately be made when it's being made of something that's made primarily of hydrogen? Well, of course, there was a discovery that under enough pressure, gravity, you know, temperature changes, all these crazy things, hydrogen could potentially be a metal. Like, I don't know, I'm guessing, just guessing, like if you took this metal, so it's put into a metal form, kind of like water can be put into a solid form, like with ice, or a gaseous form, you know, through heat. And maybe you put that metal in water and put off hydrogen for like 10,000 years, or something like that, you know. Crazy. But yeah, it just seems to be a part of everything. Okay, I think I'm gonna grab something real quick. So you guys wanted to talk about books. I got one I could share with you guys. Okay, let's see. Where do we leave off? Yeah, grounding the body. So yes, I think that's part of how it works. Like energy from the earth and hydrogen. We are stardust, says seeking and being. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. It says, if you use the term energetic instead of spiritual, can get away with more in my experience. Interesting. I.e., are hydrogen foot baths good for our energetic body? Hydrogen foot baths? Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's good. I think saltwater baths are also really good. But I just think that the best is hot springs. Natural hot springs from the earth. Brother, I don't know if you could put a price on that. Seriously, I mean, put a price on that, you know? And in Japan, I can get into one of those places for typically $6-7, you know, and that's very affordable in my opinion, you know. And there's so many neat places. I want to go visit so many of the hot springs. That I'll share with you guys. I'll share all that stuff. I'm gonna hold on one second. I'm gonna go fill up that pitcher. But you know, energetic. I'll try that. I'll be like, okay, you guys want to talk about energetic things? I don't know if that sounds right though. Energetic is like My dog's energetic, kind of thing. Well, maybe you're right. I can try that. Okay, let's see. Energetic. You want to have an energetic conversation? No. Yeah, under the right circumstance, I have to probably read. Yeah, it's kind of an energetic thing. All right. Let's see. Shannon says, what an intriguing and wonderful mystery creation is. Hydrogen seems to be a part of the God life in everything. Yeah, I found a very, well, more than one actually, but I found a very interesting Bible verse. Very interesting Bible verse. And I have noticed, I don't want to say they're in code, but there's some stuff. In fact, if you guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the gospel, there's not many people here, so who knows, we'll keep this going. But if you guys have ever heard of the Gospel of James, which is James the Just for people who wouldn't know. And James, if you're not familiar, was supposedly, I mean, according to the Bible or whatever, Jesus's older brother, right? So that's the story. And the very first sentence in that book, which was omitted from the canon, and there's other books that were omitted, but it seems that he was quite close to him and that this particular book might be quite important. And the very first sentence in it, I'll just quote it for you. It says, "He who penetrates the meaning of these words shall not taste death." And that was, and then it goes on into the book, and some things, some concepts, I don't want to say that they're difficult to understand. I just think that it's weirdly coded sometimes. And so I could show you the verse if you guys really wanted to know, but I was agreeing with you, Shannon. God's in everything. And, here, look, let me tell you some things about hydrogen that sound like what some might call God. The most powerful per square inch. That's why they make things that go boom. Make them go boom. But, I don't even want to say the word because, things are weird these days. But, so that's one aspect of it. Most powerful. Purest, the cleanest. So that sounds kind of godly-like. It ascends. It's like the ascending molecule. It floats up like a balloon. So it ascends, and it actually ascends because of its purity. It seems to be part of it. And ascension is something very like wings and godlike and literally defying gravity. So that's something, another aspect about hydrogen. Ironically, it's colorless and odorless. So it's like water. It's probably more water than water, which technically water is made up of more hydrogen. So technically, so those are some interesting aspects about hydrogen. In water, it's like basically pH neutral. So again, very neutral. What else sounds like? I think there was like one other thing, but those all to me sound kind of like a Holy Ghost or like a spirit. And when they talk about God, they talk about him like a spirit. If you look at the scriptures, it says things like, "And God's spirit was upon the surface of the waters." That's a quote from Genesis. I could go into why I think that one means hydrogen also, but it's everywhere. I mean, literally, it seems to be the stars, the sun, the very first thing that was created when the Big Bang happened. It's probably the alpha, and it'll probably be the omega. Everything comes from it and goes back to it. People with ancient knowledge, they used to really look to the sun probably for good reason, you know. But the stars and the cosmos and stuff, it's very fascinating stuff. I was going to share something with you guys. Let's see. Here we go. This page. See if you guys can read that. So, for those of you who can't see, well, it says, I'm trying to like get in this angle. I think everyone is just trying to get home, said the mole. So it's like a little, it's a book with, you know, cute drawings and cute little writings. So I guess I don't know if it's probably, I guess it is a child's book, probably, isn't it? Clearly. Okay, let's see what else. Let's see. So Wolfgang, what's the book you wanted to share? Well, I guess there's a lot. This is the one I was sharing with you guys a little bit. Christine Ford says, I have hot spring envy. Well, the second best thing, if you just can't get to it, is saunas. And then even next level stuff, which is what I'm going to be most likely doing, is hot springs and extremely cold springs. And I think it's, you know, it's good stuff. But you got to watch your heart a little bit if you have heart issues. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is for everybody. Let's see, what's the book you wanted to share? No, I read that. I have hot spring envy. Okay, Dream. I wish you would write a book, says Dream. You know, I wish I had $1 for every time I heard that, actually. But I totally appreciate the comment. And you know why I haven't written it, actually, is because there's a lot to say, and I don't feel like the story is over yet. And I could write up to this point, actually. But by writing the book, it would slow down my journey. And I'm totally focused on the journey. And I think the book would have to come later, if at all. I'm not sure how many people will, you know, I don't know if they'd be interested, but I'm a terrible writer, though, I must say. Christine Ford says, our energy body is firstly the base electricity magnetism of our bodies, MRIs, ECGs, but we know this is just limited viewpoint, and there is, this thing's so tiny, limited viewpoint, and there is so much more that our scientific tools can't measure yet. I agree. Dream says, you were talking about boron the other day. How do you feel about creating a concentrated solution using borax to put in your water? I mean, I'd have to do a little more research, because I did in the past. Quite a few years ago, I remember looking into borax, and I was interested. But it appears that, I mean, clearly there's boron in borax. And I think that from what I understood, and also what I was able to source, that was, I think, good stuff. It's ionic. It's what I was looking for. It's what the data shows to most likely be best. And so that's why I chose the boron instead of the borax. So, not sure if that answers your questions, but let's see here. Christine Ford says, Mole's opinion is spot on, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I was, yeah, the book. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find another one that you guys might like. Well, I felt I like that one. You know, but, let's see. Well, okay, how about this one? Doing nothing with friends is never doing nothing, is it? Asked the boy. No, said the mole. You're just hanging out. It's kind of cute, right? I mean, it's just kind of a cute little book. There's actually there's a little spot in my closet, and I'll turn the page and put it on. This is actually the one that was, and that's probably why it's opening so easily to that page, because there's this little holder for it. And yeah, it's almost like read something every day that's kind of nice. In fact, I'm gonna go, well, I'll just set it here. So yeah, okay guys, let's see, it's probably getting late here. Well, actually, it's 8 o'clock today. Not too bad, but yes, I agree. We're all just trying to get back home, and I don't think that some people probably think about it more than others, and it seems that Dream says thank you. And yeah, there's clearly another world. Actually, there's this whole other world that at this moment in time the world is not privy to. They don't understand it. They don't even know that it's there, actually. And they're living in this world. But we're missing literally, like, not just half of what we are. We might be missing more than that. Kind of makes me think of hydrogen and oxygen again. It's like you're missing the hydrogen. You're just living off the oxygen, you know. And oxygen is important, but no hydrogen. Let's see. Christine Ford says, I personally love just recording an audio file of key info or experiences. Quick and simple, and way to revision positive experiences and emotional states. Yeah, I mean, it sounds positive, and if it works for you, that's perfect. Yeah, I don't know if my methods work for everybody, you know, but I certainly have found methods that work for me. Just weird techniques. I mean, let's see. Do you believe there's NPCs, humans with no soul? NPCs? Okay, do I think that there's people with no souls? I don't know. I mean, if they're humans, I would only assume that they have souls. That would be my assumption. But people can be pretty lost. I've seen that a lot. Humans are, honestly, they're lost right now. You know, they don't know who they are right now. As weird as that may sound, they don't know who they are. They really are actually asleep. We all are. We truly are asleep. And I've had moments of waking up, so I know the difference. And I know when I'm walking around asleep. And that's part of, you know, the journey, you know, to try and wake up, you know. And it may sound like a straight journey, but, you know, some people call it seek and you shall find, you know. Some people calling it, you know, like uprising, you know, or rise from amongst the dead, you know, you were once asleep and now you're awake, you know, things like that. And there's, yeah, it's just sitting there waiting for us. It's been waiting for us. It seems that humanity goes through cycles of it also. So it seems that there's come points where we forget who we are, and then we figure it out again, and it's kind of like to, you know, these cycles, long cycles, 12 to 13,000 years, you know, but we'll figure it out. It's like written in the stars. It's going to happen one way or another. B-Man says, hello, I just got my fermented garlic and it's so good. You got it, dude. I almost went to go buy it today. Wow, dang it. See, you brought it up. I just knew somebody was going to say something at night and that I was going to want some, and I didn't drive clear across town. I mean, it would have been a long drive, but Shannon says mine's on the way. But he's buying black garlic now. Oh boy, you guys are funny. But yeah, that stuff's good. So yeah, Internet Explorer. I don't know. Unless they were created in some strange way. But if it was done naturally between a man and a woman, whoops, I don't know, is that gonna get me in trouble now? But sheesh. Anyway, I'll just delete this video. And you know, a baby born normal, then yeah, they probably have a soul. If they were made in a test tube, I don't know, you know, I don't know. Don't have the answer to those questions, but I have a soul, and for me personally, I'm just trying to, I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Hope to find it, you know. That's all. No big deal. Let's see, Ocean's 11. Okay, this video is definitely getting deleted. So only a few people in here we're only gonna have this conversation today. Let's see, are those anti-blue white light glasses? Yeah. You're like, what's up? I have heard the amber red ones for nighttime. Yeah, these ones aren't those, but the ones you have are any different? They're just like block UV, block blue light. That's all. And at nighttime, I'm trying to keep with the screen on to talk to you guys, and even having a light. Cause let's see if that would be. I mean, I don't think you want it like that, right? You guys want me to talk to you like this? I could. So, yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I think I probably, unless you guys have any other questions, we've been on for an hour and a half or something. So, but yes, black garlic. I want some. I'll have to look for some good ones though. A lot of them are from China, but I've heard they have them in Japan. Yes, I think I'll look to see about ordering those. I bet you I can. I'm gonna get some. Yeah, some black garlic. Oh, so good, doesn't it? It just sounds so good. Black garlic. Garlic's special, by the way. Eat it raw. 1 clove a day in the morning with your hydrogen water, or if you want normal water. And it has, it appears, I found some black garlic on Etsy. Oh, interesting. I've heard of Etsy, but I don't know what it is. I'm not a big online guy, believe it or not. I don't know how to do anything on the internet. Black garlic on a slice of butter. Oh, it's quite nice. Oh boy. Yeah, no, that sounds like a cheat day. You know, get some butter, maybe ghee. And, but you know, butter and ghee, they make me feel that weird, like oily feeling, like my pores get clogged. But once in a while I'll do that. That's why I like the saunas and hot spring, push all that stuff out of you. And there's other secrets though. There's some secret meditative techniques, I think. But you can do that with hydrogen also. There's breathing techniques you can do. Whatever works for you, really. Black garlic on butter. Oh my gosh. I love black garlic. So expensive in ounces for good ones. Yeah, they are, for the good stuff. For the good stuff. It's always like that, and it's hard to put a price on things, but you know, that's one thing that I noticed about the Japanese. They really are willing to pay for like that quality, like they really want that best fruit, or stuff like that. And they do. You should see the stuff they grow. Interesting. Oops, let's see. This is from Jesu Almikhaili. Okay. Interesting. Do you think people who were born with extreme mental conditions automatically go to heaven since they wouldn't have the ability to commit sin? Not necessarily, in my opinion. And the reason is, look, I'm not going to tell you what I read in a book. I have firsthand experience on this one. So what I've seen is that when you leave planet Earth, you leave your body. So your body has certain tendencies, and scripture would call it attachments. The Buddhists talked about attachments also. And the attachments of the flesh are like the person that you have an idea who you are. So you're like, I'm this person, this is my name, it's written on a piece of paper, my little footprint is on there, this is my social security number, this is my date of birth, like this is who I am. That's not who you are, right? But this is that idea, and the more time that goes by in time, it like solidifies and you really, believe all this. And that's fine, because you have this life that you create, you have attachments. So what I mean by attachments is your mother, your father, your siblings, your cousins, your friends, just all these different people you work with, whatever, all this life, these connections. And you have attachments, sometimes even to things. Like some people are like, oh, I love this phone. It was the first phone I've ever had, and I'll never sell it, and, or something like that. And people have attachments to like maybe a ring that was passed on from generations to generations, or whatever, to people, or all these different ideas and attachments of your life. When you go over there, you have a completely different perspective, because your perspective in this world is based on what body you're in. so all my experiences are based on hormones. So like hormones affect your mind, your biology. Even food affects the way you feel. This is why the Buddhists say don't eat meat also, because of the hormone in them that affects you, and that affects the way that you think, and maybe even be more animal-like rather than less animal-like, And all these things affect us. Our biology affects us. We're going to be in a very different place at 90 years old as compared to the mind of a 5-year-old. Our biology affects our ideas also. But when you go to, and of course, I'm just trying to answer your question here. When you go to the other side, everything becomes much more clear. And it's important to get past your fears, but if you reach certain places, you'll be very clear, and everything seems very clear, but it's very easy, and this is what typically happens, in my opinion, is that people will feel they'll remember somehow all the good. Like, if you think you're dying and you're looking back at your life, and you can feel, by the way, like all these attachments, you can feel it all, and it doesn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like love. Like, I love, this person, this person, this person. I love my life, right? You even have an attachment to this body, and this feeling draws you back here very, very quickly. And it's an emotional thing. You're not thinking, you're just reacting, and you come right back here like a magnet. Like you want another crack at it. You miss life. You remember all the good things in a lot of ways, and you're kind of, it's like a euphoric moment. It's like when a baby is born, and if you're the parent, not everybody maybe feels like this, but I've known a lot of people who they feel like, I want to do everything for this baby. I am going to feed it the healthiest food and give it the best of this. And I'm going to, you know, do the best. They're so inspired in this moment. They're almost like drunk with inspiration. And then, you know, 6 months later, you know, they were like, well, they were trying not to use, for example, disposable diapers because they pollute. And they're trying to do things differently, but they're just like, no, just give me the disposable diaper. I don't have time for this. And just, you know, they just, everything went a different direction. And it's a moment like that, the shift, when you're on that other side, you end up wanting to come back. And interestingly enough, that's actually more what the Buddhists say. You know, the goal, in their opinion, which I'm not going to say I totally agree with it, but they say that the goal is ultimately to, you know, when you go to the other side, not to come back to planet Earth. And there's a lot of suffering here. There's a lot of suffering in planet Earth. It's very sad, especially when at least me personally, I feel like we have everything we need to be successful. That's my honest opinion. I really believe we have everything to be an amazing societies, you know, and so much potential. And it's typically crushed by greed and corruption. And it's too bad. Humans seem to want to own humans. It's just very strange. Because ultimately the greatest gift, if anything, in my opinion, that God gives us is free will and free choice. So freedom is absolutely wisdom. And you just ruin everything when you try to be too greedy and want to either own everyone or own everything. It's like a black hole that never leads to happiness. To me, that is the goal. At least that's my goal. I don't know about anybody else, but speaking for myself, happiness is, and I don't mean happiness because you're like, well, I want a Ferrari and, you know, and I want a mansion and I want $1 billion, you know, and I want a cheeseburger and I want it now, you know, type of thing. Like, that's not happiness, just getting your body's, not just needs met, but also your body's, like even going beyond that. I think you tend to go beyond that when you're highly unhappy. Actually, I think you're just trying to, you know, sometimes, I mean, I understand having fun and I totally get things like that, but I'm just being extreme right now, I guess. It just depends on what you think of true happiness is. But okay, let's see. So I don't know if that answers your question. But let's see. Christina said, do many people in Japan have gardens attached to their homes? I wish here in the States we would all have one and would have learned how to garden growing up. Yeah, well, no, they don't have gardens everywhere in Japan. I mean, there's places in Japan that are very, very tight and the country's small. And then if you go out more to the countryside, I mean, the farmers there, like you should see, I mean, I don't know if you guys know that Japanese farmers were brought to America back in the day, like a long time ago, to teach people how to farm. These people are master farmers. Like, I don't think people understand, you know, the level at which Japanese do farming. These guys are impressive. Look at the chemical studies on like herbs. Like there's so many herbs that are not so good coming out of, I won't even mention the country anymore, but some other country, riddled with not very good stuff in there, a lot of pesticides and just pollutants. And they were testing all these teas, and of course, the one that was best was the Japanese one. Lowest levels, really clean. I mean, they take their craft seriously, and then they don't waste things. So, you know, you don't want to like, I see people waste food all the time, and I'm just like, my God, you know, don't do that. You know, I don't know. I'm just being weird. I just don't like to be wasteful. Okay. Very like Japanese thing, kind of a Buddhist thing too. I mean, down to the grain of rice, you know, and I've been like that too, just naturally. I don't know why. Where do we go if we choose not to come back? Well, it's not whether you choose or don't choose to come back. I mean, here's the other issue. I know this is going to sound weird too, but look, as you live your life, if you do a lot of bad things to other people, see, that's the thing that people need to understand. Like, I'm going to paint a picture. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm going to paint a picture for you guys. And hopefully you guys, I think everybody will get it. Look at it this way. And by the way, before I speak, this is not religion, and I'm going to be taken from many places. So the way that I see this, the way that I see it. And that's that the body, as the scriptures say, is the temple. Temple is like a house. It's a structure. The temple of God. So technically he lives inside of not just me, but you also. Every human. Every human. Okay, we all got it. So when we do something to another person that hurts them, you know, it can be anything, like you steal $100 from them or something, and you know, like you went into your mom's wallet or something. You know, I've heard so many stories like that. I've never taken money from my mother, but so many people I hear they're taking money. I can't believe they're doing it. Actually, I'm like, oh my god, you're stealing from your own mother. Jeez. And it seems so common, and kids apparently do this kind of stuff all the time. So you do that, you're hurting somebody, right? It says, you know, thou shalt not steal, because you're probably stealing from someone. Thou shalt not kill. You know, don't covet your neighbor's wife. You know, all these things that they on the 10 Commandments, they're all about hurting people, basically. And I think that when you're hurting people, yeah, you're hurting them, but you're also hurting God, because he lives inside of them. One way or another, you're hurting them when you do unkind things to others. That's how simple it is. Okay? And when you do that, you're actually hurting yourself, because he lives in you too. You guys are all connected. It's all one. He is you, you are him, the whole thing. So if you actually look at the 10 Commandments, it's really funny, because Jesus said something very interesting. He literally corrected it. He didn't correct it, he elaborated. If you look at the original 10 Commandments of Moses, and then you look at Jesus talking about them, Jesus said something interesting. He said the number 2 commandment is equally important as the first commandment. He said equal. Now, I'm no mathematician. I know what equal means, okay? He's kind of saying it's the same thing. And the number 1 commandment is, you know, to love God before, you know, put him above everything, you know, all this stuff. But number 2 says, love your neighbor as yourself. It's the same thing. And once you understand that, and this is important to understand that, because anything you're doing to somebody else, you're doing it to yourself. And that pain that you're causing to someone, like let's say you were a happily married man, and you have, you know, 2 wonderful kids, and you work really hard, and your wife works really hard, and you know, you put all this effort, and you've been married for 50 years or 40 years, whatever it is, you know, just you think of a situation, and he does something he shouldn't, or she does something that she shouldn't. And, you know, it's obviously, you know, could be a very sad situation, but hurting somebody, you know, you're going to be feeling it just as much. And if you do that to one person, and then 2 people, and 3, and it's, even if it's scattered, like little stuff, but throughout your life, these things build up, and you don't even know that that's the case. You don't think about it. You don't think things are building up. You know, some people, if they do something really bad, it's they feel that guilt. Well, I think that's part of that feeling. So imagine these things building up in time. You don't even know. Maybe you don't think about it. Maybe you're just a good person too. You know, even the best of people aren't perfect. And once you go to that other side, there can be a hell waiting for you that you've created, you know, through your heart, you know, cause you to I don't want to say cause you to do it. You know, you just, that's what you chose, you know, and so anyway, then you may, well, according to Buddhism, I mean, one, you might just jump right back into a body again because you just want to escape that hell. But then you see, you're not getting out of here. You're not finding your peace, you know, in your spirit. You have to deal with all that pain, you know, and, you know, hopefully, you know, become a better person. And yeah, I mean, it's very hard for me. I'm sure it is for all of you guys, actually. I mean, these things on the news, like the way people treat each other, the way humans treat each other. But I mean, you know, don't get me on a soapbox on something like that. It's just surprising, is all. It's surprising because it would be very hard for me to be like cruel to someone and want to hurt someone. You know, I don't have that in me. I understand when people are young and they're aggressive and they're full of hormones and, you know, they get in fights and stuff like that. But to like, I don't know, to sell out mankind or something like that, that's just, I don't know how you could live with yourself. I just don't know how. But I think that, like I said, they're so numb. I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people are so numb, so disconnected. Part of the reason that I do a lot of what I do, as far as trying to keep my blood extremely clean and be very healthy, is because I want the connection. Because without the connection, I don't feel, well, I don't want to say I don't feel happy, but being disconnected makes me feel more lost, more unhappy. I don't feel like I'm growing. I like growing. I like growing and caring more and understanding that, you know, how I want to treat other people because of the way that it affects me, the way that I feel about myself and living with oneself and just, yeah, to want to just be cruel and hurt people. No, it's very strange. Oh, numbnuts. He just gave me $4.44. Love your spiritual wisdom. Wow. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Geez, I really went off on a tangent, huh? Where do we go if we choose not to come back? Oh, no, I think you're going to either run back here or go over there. And if you get stuck in the middle, you're probably going to be stuck in your own karma and your own hell until you, you know, it's funny. What was it? Jesus said something really beautiful. He said something like, I will not return to you until you've learned to cry, you know? And I think when you truly repent, there's literally just two things to kind of seems to overcome a lot of this, and that's repentance and forgiveness. Even Jesus clearly talked about it. He literally said it in the number one prayer in the whole Bible, supposedly, allegedly, who was a prayer that Jesus made. And if you really, really study what he said, it's interesting because he's basically telling us, like when he said, forgive us, Father, as we forgive those who trespassed against us. So he's like, forgive us, forgive those who, let's see, forgive me, Father, basically for me trespassing against, wait, I'm just confused all that. Basically, forgive us, Father, for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. So we get forgiveness when we give it, and the whole repentance thing. So it's like, it's all about humans. It's all about humans forgiving and repenting, and it's like we're the ones creating all the pain, you know, and most of it, yeah, who knows where it stems from. Let's see, let me skip on to the next one. I thought I stayed on that too long. Ken says, I really enjoyed my time when I worked in Japan since 1986 and 1997. Love the people. Yep. They are great farmers. You are correct, Greg. They are also smart, not letting the immigrants come in. Yeah, no, of course they're smart. They understand the way that they think. And they're like, look, we think this way. We want to do things this way. So they have to control everything in their small little country these days. You know, they're sitting ducks next to the places they're next to. Christina, on the other side, did you see if you lived other lives? Were reincarnated? And if so, would you share anything you learned about that? Yes, I did see that I had another life. And oh wow, Shannon says, yay, thanks for everything. She just sent me $10. Holy cow. Thanks. Geez, thanks, Shannon. That's very kind of you. Shannon Holland. Well, thank you very much. I'll try to put that to good use. Yeah, I saw that I had been apparently in Asia, and I had been a monk um, multiple times, most likely. And I think this is why it's funny, because when I connected to that person, he's very different. I mean, we're very different in some ways, very different in some ways. I could feel his biology and how it affected his mind and who he was, and ultimately it was still me. But obviously I was raised a certain way and he was raised a certain way, so we had different genetics in these bodies. But in the end, we seem to have something in our heart that is the same. And yeah, I came. I saw that I had been other lives. There, I didn't see all of them. If there was more or anything like that, I saw a few. I actually went into. There was just so much to see over there. There is just. It's like I really wanted to document everything that I saw and be very non-biased. So I just wanted to, I just wanted to be seeing it without my bias at all. And show me what you're going to show me. I'm not expecting to see anything. I'm not expecting Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or, Santa Claus. No expectations. I just seen what is there, because I tend to think that most of us are probably wrong in understanding all these things. I feel like there's probably always more to learn. I think that the limits are so vast. So it can't just be something. I mean, there's simplicities and then there's complexities, and I'll tell you, like, a simple thing is don't hurt other humans. Don't sleep with their wives, don't steal their money, don't take their lives, don't enslave them, don't do bad things to each other, and try to do really good things, like everything's about trying to do something good. Like if you grow the absolute best food, the best quality, the cleanest food with the best mineral content and the good soil, and just put such an effort, and then the people who buy the food, they should also be more conscious about how special this is. I really appreciate the effort that you put into it, and I'm going to eat it all, and I'm not going to waste things. And that's actually very Japanese. I mean, those are very Japanese attributes. Just talking about it like that, and they do that a lot, and I think that's a good way to live. Don't hurt each other, and do the best that you can do. And hopefully it'll be good for others. And I don't think it has to be much more complicated than that. Tomoko Ozawa says, yep. Hi, Tomoko. Your name sounds Japanese. Konnichiwa. And so, yeah, I don't think life is it doesn't have to be that complicated. I do think we overcomplicate things, and I don't like it, because I feel like overcomplicating things, you're like tying knots in your head. There's just too much to keep track of, and you know what? There's enough already as it is. We don't need to overcomplicate everything, and I think we tend to. And I like personally to keep things as simple as I can. But that's me, probably drive a lot of other people nuts, but especially the whole dress code. I need to figure something else out with the way I dress. And you know what? I don't even care, actually, which is maybe part of the problem. But everybody else around me seems to care. Everybody that was commenting on my clothes. I don't know what it is. Okay, guys, should we call it a day? Any other questions? I mean, I feel like I've been rambling here. It's been over 2 hours. And thank you for the $14.44. Like, how much do you make an hour? $7.22 an hour. For what? For rambling. Just talking. All right, guys. Anything else you guys wanted to chat about? I'll leave the door open. For right now, I'll leave it open. Just there's more water. I'll give you guys a moment to say something, and if not, I'm going to turn it off then. Hope you guys are done hanging for tonight. You know, it's funny, guys, of what I was just talking about. I was setting up the book to another random page, and look at this. What we were just talking about, forgiveness and all this stuff. It says, often the hardest person to forgive is yourself. But like I said, you are within everybody too. We're all like just forgiving each other. And you know, I don't have to I mean, this is great and all, but I don't have to read a book this fat to figure that out. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by I want to take the action and just, I mean, it's actually simple. Even the whole Bible, if you look at the whole Bible, like the concepts that he's talking about, love your neighbor as yourself, you know, and repentance and forgiveness and these different things, basic things. But you don't need all this, which is fine though. I'm not saying anything against it. You can talk about it a lot, but I also like when things are simplified, make things more simple. That's what I do with my health too. What's the book called? Oops, the one I just put away. Ken. Thank you for your podcast, Greg. It was great. Really? Oh, thank you. Jeez, wow. You guys are boosting my ego here. Appreciate it. Okay, seeking and being. I'm done dreaming this dream. Yeah, or you could just, yeah. I'm going to head to bed so I can wake up. Okay, thank you everyone for being in my dream. All right, seeking and being. Good night, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see here. If the book you wanted to know about, Internet Explorer, if it's that important, just ask again and I can go grab it out of the closet. Otherwise, I'll just say goodbye. Shannon, thank you. Thank you guys for all being kind and being, you know, good comments and no weirdos. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Says Christine Ford. Internet Explorer. A lot of love. Peace. Isn't that what Jesus would always say? Peace be with you. Like, peace out, guys. Peace be with you. You know. Yeah. A lot of wisdom in these books, in a lot of those books. It's just you just have to look at it rather than sometimes take other people's word for it. You know, because they're like, well, the book says that you're supposed to give me 10%, and don't ever listen to the what was it? Don't listen to the Old Testament. We're all about the New Testament. And it was funny because one time I was talking to a guy about that, and I said, well, he was talking about how he gives 10% to the church, which is fine if people want to give money away. But I just said, well, you said you don't really follow the Old Testament, but that's where the 10% thing comes from. It's kind of contradicting yourself. I don't think he liked that much. And then, you know, it's funny. I thought it was funny. I'm the one laughing here. Okay, Seeking Truth. Peace out, brother. Internet Explorer. Love the consistent live streams. Oh, you do? Well, I don't know how long I'll be doing it, to be honest. Lately I've, you know, I've had a little extra time here and there for I'll probably have time next couple weeks. Things will change as I move around more. But yeah, I'm glad you like them. You know, we're just hanging out. I didn't think too many people would want to watch these, to be honest. I was gonna delete this one, but since it's over 2 hours, maybe I'll just leave it since probably nobody will listen. All right, guys. Good night. Good night, all. I think all is good now. I'm gonna brush my teeth and go to bed. All right, thanks for hanging out, guys. See ya. Good night, Internet Explorer. Peace out, Shannon.